All right, we are ready, and welcome to the show, people. Welcome to the Worlds Collide post show experience special. Welcome, everybody. We're live on YouTube. We're also live on the Wrestling Soup Discord. I am Drew, and joining me as always.
You want me to introduce myself?
I mean, I can introduce you. You can introduce yourself. Whatever you prefer.
El Grandia Americano.
So wait, aren't you supposed to be wrestling in like 2 hours?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're not really Chad Gable.
Who?
Okay, never mind. Who's your biggest fan? You should know who that is. All right. Uh, so
Listen, I'm the star. I don't need to know my fans.
fair enough. Fair enough. So Worlds Collide. Did you ever watch the original Worlds Collide from the early '90s?
I don't think so.
Okay. They did a good job at showing like history back in the day, and I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I thought it was kind of funny in a fucked up way, where they're showing every Hispanic, Mexican, American wrestler was in WWE or currently in WWE, and the only one that they didn't even show was Del Rio. So I thought that was kind of funny. They just were like, yeah, we don't want shit to do with this guy. He gets nothing from us.
I didn't pay attention. I was really looking to see if Omega was going to creep up in the background.
Omega, Jesus Christ. But yeah, overall, I guess before we get started, what was your opinion, I guess, on the look of the show?
Uh, well, I mean, it seems like they had a full house. It was great to be coming from Bakersfield, Mexico. That was terrific. Everything went okay with visas and immigration, so that's awesome. It was a good look. It felt like a AAA show, but with I don't know. It felt live and in color. There was definitely that WWE production factor. It didn't feel like I was watching a YouTube show at all. It definitely felt
Jeff,
like
you
I was
cut out.
watching. I cut out. Am I
What the
still
fuck just happened?
cutting out? Am I cut out?
Okay,
Am I
Jeff
cut
just cut out for a
out?
bit. Hold on, because I can't hear him. He was talking for a bit. Now I can't hear him. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can fix something. Jesus Christ.
Do they hear me?
Hello.
I'm here. Gone
What the
anywhere?
hell just happened? Okay,
Anyone in the
Jeff, keep
chat? Can you
talking.
hear
I'm
me?
gonna try and fix whatever the hell just happened. Because
All right. Well, Drew is not here
yeah,
on the assumption that there's
you
people.
literally just cut out, and oh, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna disconnect and come
Yeah,
back in. One moment.
he's going to disconnect and come back in. I hope he's the problem and not me. Not just for selfish reasons. Um, I want to comment on.
What the hell? Why is it doing this? And now I can't even get back in. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm hitting join stage. This is not happening.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone is hearing me or not. Um, I don't know where there's a chat.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me?
I could hear you the whole time.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck happened. You were just talking, all of a sudden you just got cut out.
Well, could they hear me?
Well, no, what was weird was because I can see your icon like lighting up when you talk, but I can't hear you at all. Or I couldn't hear you for that time being. So,
I know that's weird, but do you know if the audience could hear me or not?
anyone in the chat, can you hear us at all? Yeah, this is kind of happening yesterday when I was well, not yesterday, on Thursday I was recording with RJ, and like out of nowhere, we'd be talking and he would like cut out for a little bit, but I would see his icon like light up. But oh man, hopefully Discord isn't being a bitch. But anyways, I was gonna ask you something else before we cut out. What were your thoughts on Conan being on commentary?
Conan on commentary. I'm not a big Conan fan. I don't really much like the guy. Um, I don't really know him, but whatever limited engagement I've had with him has been generally negative. Um, I like the insight he has. I like that he knows all the moves. He knows all the history. He knows where all the wrestlers are from. I'm not sure if he's got a little bit of Hulk Hogan syndrome or if he really does have ties to everyone and discovered everyone. I mean, by the end of the show, I was pretty convinced that he's convinced that he discovered every single wrestler that's ever done anything of note that came from south of the border. Maybe he has. I don't know. As far as enunciation and inflection and emotion, he's terrible. I mean, he made me appreciate just how good Corey Graves is. I'm not saying Corey Graves is like a best of all time, but he's very solid at his job. He's animated. He knows the moves also. I know his brother is, in Lucha Libre quite a bit. He doesn't repeat the same things over and over again. He doesn't say things like repeat the same things like I just did. He uses actual words and phrases. And he's excited when he's supposed to be excited. Conan was just monotone, and so he sort of brought it down a bit. Maybe his insight and stories through somebody with the could emote a personality would have been a better call, but I'm not someone who cares that much about the commentary if I'm interested in the show. And since I was not familiar with the work of a lot of the luchadors, or at least I didn't feel like I was, that was fresh for me. So I didn't need the commentary. The commentary is when I'm sort of a little bit bored or a little bit used to the wrestlers. Do I pay attention to the commentary? So it's not a big thing for me. How about you?
I wasn't nuts about it. I mean, Conan, I'm kind of like not. I don't know. I've never really been a Conan fan. Never really been a fan of his podcast, so to speak. I mean, I haven't really had interactions with him, kind of like you just mentioned, but it was more just like, really, Conan? Like, why not anyone else? You know what I mean? I mean, it made sense that they went with Corey, because Corey's kind of their he's kind of their go-to guy, where it's like, we need commentary for anything, so we're gonna go with Corey. I would have figured maybe they would have added somebody from AAA, or maybe like another Hispanic wrestler legend to call the show with Corey besides Conan, but it is what it is. Like Conan kind of reminded me a little bit of like kind of how what the fuck is that dude's name? The SmackDown commentator, Jimmy something.
Jimmy Smith.
In a sense where like he's talking, but it kind of sounds like he's commentating a golf game rather than a wrestling match. And I
mean, because Jimmy Smith didn't have the knowledge. I thought Jimmy Smith was better than the guy he replaced, Adnan Burke, who was much more dull and also sort of monotone and had the same voice as some of the other people on commentary with him. There's no contrast. But actually, I go further into this, or before you go further into it, I just want to point out that the introduction, that vignette in the beginning that Rey Mysterio was narrating, was exceptional. That was a terrific introduction. That if you were a WWE fan or American wrestling fan and you didn't watch AAA or didn't spend much time watching Lucha Libre, maybe you watched Lucha Underground, maybe you didn't. Maybe you've seen some of the crossovers, but like Mil Mascaras is, the only luchador that's not Rey Mysterio, or outside the last 3 or 4 years. That was excellent. That was excellent production.
I have no idea what's going on, but you keep cutting in and out, and I see your thing flashing, and I have no idea what's going on. It's coming out on my end.
Okay. Well, do we have an active chat to know if they can hear me or you, or if they can't hear me and they can only hear you?
Because I know somebody said they can hear us.
Or only me and not you.
I think
that's what I should say.
I think it's just me, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know if this is the computer or if this is Discord.
There's nobody in the experience chat. There's people in the audience, so I don't know if they're in the stream chat, if that's where they would be.
Okay. Joe Punches. Hey, Joe. Says, I hear you both.
I'm
No.
just saying I hear you both.
Okay, no. I don't think it's so much as the
They
people
can hear
can't.
us too.
No. I'm not saying the people can't
Yes,
hear
they
us.
hear me.
I'm saying I'm seeing your icon light up when you talk, but it goes in this spurt of like when you talk, all of a sudden you cut off.
You go in the chat.
What was that?
All right. Well, I'm just going to carry on and see what happens here.
Okay. Sorry.
So the first match was the LWO versus three Mexican Lucha Libre stars. Then we had Octagon, who is at least three numbers better than Pentagon. We had Mr. Iguana, who I'd never seen or heard of before, but he was pretty hysterical. I had a feeling, we were going to get what we got, and it was silly and dopey and funny, and this is where I have to get it out.